What's going on, guys? It's Kingpin, and today I'm going to be making a quick build video. I have some people coming into the YouTube and Twitch streams asking what build I'm running, so I'm going to be making a build video for you guys. Now, mind you, this is a template. You can use the build as is, or you can change it up. I used to run pure DK on here, but now I'm running Animal Companions. I'm just trying stuff out, and honestly, Animal Companions is very comparable to Draconic Power, and it's been working pretty well. So let me go ahead and show you guys the build. So, go into the character sheet. I am an Imperial Dragonknight. Right now, I have 48 in mag and 16 into health. I'm running Crown Fortifying Mill, and I'm running the Lady Mundus. You can change this Mundus. As you see, I have pretty good resistances on my front bar without even being buffed. I have 34 spell and 32k physical. If I go to my back bar, I got 40k spell and 37k physical. So you can definitely change the Lady Mundus, especially if you're a better player than I am. You could probably get away with having lower resistances. But mind you, with the new Mythic, you can get pretty much like 3-shot if you're not paying attention. So just keep that in mind. If I did buff up a little bit here, front bar, 37k spell, 35k physical. On the back bar, 43k spell and 40k physical, and 5k spell and weapon damage on the front bar. Right, let's go ahead and show you guys the sets I'm running. So I'm running Mighty Chuden, which is a heavy head and medium shoulders. This is good because one line of armor, one line of health, and you get major resolve at all times. So that takes an ability that you don't have to spam every 20 seconds and let you add a different ability on your bar. Mighty Chuden is really good. I do recommend running Mighty Chuden, but you can change this for a bunch of other monster sets. Again, all up to you on what you would rather do on here, but this is what I have on right now is Chuden. I have one heavy train E on the chest, which is good for the one line of max health. I am running Oak Fathers on the front bar for the 3 lines of weapon and spell damage and the unique 5 line, which gives you 449 offensive penetration against enemies with each major buff and 20 weapon and spell damage against enemies for each minor buff. This is going to be really good for when you are facing someone who has a lot of major and minor buffs, which is usually a lot of players. And if you're fighting a group, the group is probably giving one or more of the players major and minor buffs. So this is just going to help you get more penetration against them and more weapon and spell damage. On my back bar, I'm actually running Buffer of the Swift. And this set is really good because you are getting 2 lines of armor, 1 line of magicka, but you're also getting a 5 line, which is reduced damage taken from players by 10%. That 10% will not get affected by major or minor breach. They cannot take this 10% away from you. It's kind of like major and minor protection. This is really nice. I'm also running, it looks like to be 4 light, 2 heavy, 1 medium. I am running reinforced on both of the heavies and I think everywhere else I'm running impenetrable. And then I have about, I believe, 4 tri-stat glyphs, and the rest are magicka glyphs. For the jewelry, I'm running protective on everything with a weapon and spell damage enchantment, and I'm running monomyth. For the major force, minor berserk on the front bar, and a major protection and minor vitality on the back bar. Minor timidity and minor vulnerability does not really do much. Minor timidity is really like, you're going to gain more ult than you lose, I promise you. But the major protection on the back bar is really helpful with the Buffer of the Swift. That's a 20% damage reduction that they cannot take away from you. So I definitely recommend grinding and getting monomyth if you're going to use the build exactly like I have it. I'm running 2 swords of Oak Fathers on the front bar. I have them both Noenhorned, and I have Escapist Poisons. Now I have Escapist Poisons because you're able to immobilize your target, and it grants you unstoppable. It's also going to drain health from your target by dealing poison and restoring health back to you, and you're also going to drain magicka from your target, make their magicka abilities cost 10% more, and restore 238 magicka to you. I think that's a really good poison, and it's probably going to be better than most of the enchantments. Now, mind you, you could change this up as you will. If you want to run an enchantment like Oblivion damage, Flame damage, it's up to you. You can change this how you want, but I have Escapist Poisons. And on the back bar, I have on... It doesn't matter if you have a dagger, mace, or sword for the back bar, but I just have on a dagger at the moment. I have defending on the dagger, and then I have reinforced on the shield with a max mag enchantment. Alright, and let's go ahead and go into the champion points. So for the champion points, we're running mostly defensive CPs. So I got Duelist Rebuff, which is going to reduce your damage taken by single target attacks by 3%. Ironclad, which is going to reduce your damage taken by direct damage attacks by 3%. Exploiter, which is going to increase your damage done against off-balance enemies by 2%, which is really good because we are running Power Lash. So we are going to need this when we hit them with that off-balance. Doing 10% more damage done is going to be explosive. And then we have Resilience for that crit resistance because while we do have Impenetrable, we're not running Rallying Cry. Buffer of the Swift is it's not a meta back bar set or anything like that. You can change that set. Most people are running Rallying Cry. So if you want to make the build better, you could just run Rallying Cry. It's that simple. There's other back bar sets that will probably be more helpful than Buffer of the Swift, but that's just what I'm running right now. For the red tree, we're running Pain's Refuge. It reduces your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects active on you, up to a maximum of 20%. Survival Instincts, while effective with a status effect, which you're going to have a lot on you because of the new mythic, your core combat skills cost 5% less. Celerity for the movement speed, and then we have Fortified. This one is kind of a flex spot. You can change this. As you saw, I have a lot of resistances, so I could probably change this for health or anything else, but I just have Fortified on at the moment. Green tree doesn't matter. And then let's go into the skills. We're running Blue Betty from Animal Companions. This is just for our major brutality and sorcery. It's going to give you 4,992 magicka to you over 25 seconds. But every 5 seconds, the net removes 1 negative effect from you. If no negative effects are removed, you instead increase your damage done by 5% for 5 seconds. That's really good. Incinerate is while sliding on each bar, you gain major prophecy and savagery, increasing your spell and weapon critical by 2,629. So that's really good because this is just going to give you that while sliding on either bar passively. Each hit has a 50% chance of applying burning, and when you activate it, every 5 seconds, you're going to be dealing 6,373 flame damage to enemies inside of that radius. Shattering Rocks is one of the best stuns in the game. You're going to be applying Minor Breach. You are going to heal from this, and they're going to deal flame damage. And they're going to get slowed. Shattering Rocks is just one of the best stuns in the game. And this is what's really going to get you the secured kills when you have everything up and you hit them with Shattering Rocks and you just hit them with all your abilities. Deep Fissure is actually going to give you Major and Minor Breach. This skill is really good because right now for our ult we have Corrosive Armor. So when you have Corrosive Armor, you're hitting them with Deep Fissure, which already deals a massive amount of damage for 8,000 for the first tick, and then 11,000 for the second tick. If you're hitting them with this, with no corrosive, you're already dropping their resistances by 8,000 to 9,000. With Oak Fathers, which is giving you more penetration for each major buff that they have. If you have Corrosive on, this is just going to hit like a truck. You don't have to worry about the major or minor breaches. It's going to hit like a truck, and it's delayed too, so you can have everything pop up at the same time, which is going to give you that burst potential. And then our bread and butter, our spammable, which is going to be Flame Lash. You're going to deal 7,479 flame damage to enemies, and you're going to heal for 2,588. When you hit an enemy off balance, you get 5 stacks of Power Lash for 20 seconds, up to once every 20 seconds. Activating again consumes a stack to deal 13,963 flame damage to your target, and it also does the same amount of damage to all enemies nearby, and heals you for 10,354. And you get 5 stacks of that. And then consuming all your stacks as a Dragonknight increase your damage done by 7%. So this is really nice. Flame Lash is just one of the best spammables in the game at the moment. You're increasing your damage done by 7% when you consume all stacks. You heal from it, and you're dealing a massive amount of damage to not just them, but anybody around them. And then Corrosive, you're limiting your incoming damage to 6% of your max health, dealing 5,000 flame damage to nearby enemies around you for 10 seconds. But here's the big kicker. While active, your direct damage attacks ignore enemies' physical and spell resistances, but you cannot generate ultimate. On the back bar, we have Heart of Flame. This is going to give you all of your resources, and as you saw on the skill tree, you don't have a lot of recovery. So this is going to be like your recovery button. You're going to get 15% of your missing health, missing magicka, and stamina every 2 seconds for over 4 seconds. When this ability completes, you also deal 5,740 flame damage. You're going to spam this every 4 seconds if you can. This is going to replace Wings from the Draconic Power. This is going to be Deceptive Predator. This is going to give you Major Expedition for 6 seconds, increasing your movement speed by 30%. You're going to get immunity to snares and mobilizations for 4 seconds. And then while slotted, you gain Minor Evasion, reducing damage from incoming attacks by 10%. So this is going to be really nice. It's not as good as the Wings from DK because you get like the 50% projectile protection, but this will do. Binding Throw is going to be what gives you your off balance. This is a scribe skill. You are going to want to put, this is what I have on at least. You can change this up how you like, but I have immobilize, so when I throw it, I immobilize them. I have the DK passive, which I get 50%, not 50%, I wish. Gain 50 weapon and spell damage, and you reduce your damage taken by 2% plus 1% per enemy for 5 seconds. So this is really nice, especially when you're in like a 1vx situation, or if there's just a lot of people around you, because sometimes it's group versus group, and you can use the Binding Throw, get somebody off balance, get that 50 weapon and spell damage for each player around, and reduce your damage taken by 2% plus 1% per enemy. And then with Vigor, this is going to be your heal over time. This is really good because it's going to give you 15,000 health over 5 seconds, and it's going to give you Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 2,974 for 20 seconds. And then we have Healing Soul. This is going to be your burst heal. This is also a scribe skill. Now, I will say you can set this up how you like, but with Healing Soul, you just got to be reminded that anytime you use Healing Soul, if there's somebody near you who has lower health than you, it will go to them over you. And then our get out of jail free card is Spell Wall. When you are getting zerged down, or there's a ball group and they're all targeting you, you put on a reinforced shield and you get out of sight. You use line of sight, you get out the way, you reposition. This is what you're going to use. Reinforce your shield, allowing you to automatically block all attacks at no cost and reflect all projectiles cast at you for 7 seconds. And that is the build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anything you want to let me know about the build, let me know in the comments. But I do appreciate you guys being here, and I'll talk to y'all soon.